What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode number 12 of the Nati Pod. I'm your host, Ryan Townsend. Thank you so much for joining me today. Looking to preview a little bit of the Steelers-Bengals game this week, week number 10, Steelers week, man. Love Steelers week. Bring it on today a little bit. Special guest of mine, Tyler Defibaugh, right-hand pitcher at Wittenberg University. Former Southern Ball teammate of mine, plays Miami Valley Prospects. A huge Steelers fan, also a huge Reds fan right there with him. So, Tyler, thanks for coming on today, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tony. I'm excited to talk some football with you.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to this week's game. Huge rivalry game. I always love the Bengals Steelers week, man. It's just always physical football rivalry, man. It just really gets my juices flowing, man. So I'm ready to get after it here. So kicking it off with you a little bit here, Tyler. We're gonna go into a little bit of the information here this week. So as some of you probably saw on Twitter, Big Ben was put on the COVID list. A couple other players on the COVID list. Tyler, what do you have to report besides a couple people on the COVID list, injury-wise? Like, how are you guys looking right now?
Really well. I mean, all of Pittsburgh's kind of got their breath holding right now over Big Ben. That's a big worry for everyone. I mean, obviously it's a big deal, but he did test negative, so he's just got to continue to test negative. I believe it's through Friday, and if his test keep coming back negative, he'll be able to go Sunday. But he was just in close contact with tight end Vance McDonald, who was the one who tested positive, and then also inside linebacker Vince Williams is in the same boat as Ben. He was in close contact with Vance, but he also tested negative. So as long as those two guys are tested negative up until Friday, they'll be able to go on Sunday. So
I gotcha. Yeah, those are two big key pieces when we talk about, like, obviously the quarterback, Big Ben, future first ballot Hall of Famer, then Vince Williams, who's been a big thing for you guys on defense. So anything big on the injury report side? Anyone banged up a little bit? I know Deontay Johnson has been here and there, but are there like key big injuries this week?
Yeah, so honestly, things are kind of looking up, it looks like, on the injury front. Fullback Derek Watt seems like he might be able to go Sunday, as well as their nose tackle Tyson Alualu, it's been a big miss with him. I mean, teams have been able to run on us pretty well last few weeks with him being out. And then also our slot corner, Mike Hilton, it seems like he might be able to go Sunday too. It's just something they're going to have to monitor and practice throughout the week. But things are looking up on the injury front as of right now, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. So picking up to the Bengals here a little bit, Sam Hubbard and Xavier Su'a-Filo just came off the IR this week. Both were cleared to practice. Hopefully we can get both those guys for Sunday. I'm assuming if Hubbard's ready to go, he's going to start. Not sure about Su'a-Filo. We got Quentin Spain coming back in. Played a great game 2 weeks ago against the Titans. Winston Rose has just been put on the COVID list today, joining Marcus Hunt, Fred Johnson, and Trey Waynes. And then Jordan Evans and Mackenzie Alexander just came off the COVID list. So that's a couple big bump there. A little slot corner, help us out there a little bit. And then on the injury front a little bit, so Michael Jordan and Trey Hopkins, who did not play in week number 8 against the Tennessee Titans, they're going to be back this week. Zach Taylor said in his morning press conference that they're good to go. He's still waiting on Jonah Williams and Bobby Hart. Those are two big injuries that could hurt us this week. I know left tackle and right tackle. Obviously, if Bobby Hart's not good to go and Fred Johnson's still in the COVID list, and Hakeem Adeniji might have to play tackle. I know they signed O'Shea Douglas to the practice squad. He's a tackle. He might have to come up and play if we have anything going there. But getting a couple guys back, losing a couple guys to the COVID list here and there. So we're not as healthy as we need to be, but we're getting back to where we need to go here. So it should be a good week for us, I think. So, all right, here we go. Up to what to expect, keys to the game here a little bit. So, Tyler, let's kick it off here a little bit. Let's go with the Steelers offense. So, seeing how the Steelers have been playing the last couple weeks and seeing the Bengals D, what do the Steelers really need to do to take it to the Bengals defense this week?
Obviously, this is all dependent on, if Big Ben can go Sunday, because I think the offensive game plan changes heavily if it's Mason Rudolph at the helm Sunday. But assuming Ben's good to go, they gotta go tempo. They gotta go no huddle offense. For whatever reason, they've been starting slow these last few weeks, and as soon as they get in a deficit or in their 2-minute offense, I mean, they're unstoppable, it seems. I mean, Ben calls the plays and they just go boom, boom, boom right down the field. So hopefully that's what they need to start with, I think, just to get comfortable, get in a rhythm. They also, you can't let Carl Lawson wreck the game for us on offense. They're gonna have to protect him or, protect against him. And then also you got to know where Bates is. Bates is one of the most talented safeties, I think, in the league. I think you guys really got something special there. So you
Yeah.
got to know where he's at on the field at all times because he's also a game wrecker. So I think if the Steelers can find a way to limit those two game wreckers on the Bengals side of the defense, then things will look good for them. But they also, I just feel like they really need to press tempo and go no huddle on Sunday.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. So actually, bringing it a little bit to when we're talking here about your tempo offense and like the 2-minute drill saying they're unstoppable, I've noticed in a couple of your games, like you haven't really been blowing out a lot of people. Like week 1 against the Giants was a close one. Last week you guys almost lost to Dallas. Is it almost like you played down to your competition, or is like what are you guys finding out here in these last couple of weeks?
I think you hit the nail right on the head. And honestly, that's just kind of been the thing in the Mike Tomlin era for whatever reason. I mean, honestly, going into halftime last week and seeing Ben go down
Mm-hmm.
there at the end of the first half, it was kind of like, well, here we go. We're really about to lose to the Cowboys with no Dak, with no anything really. So for whatever reason, man, I don't know if they just can't get up for these games against these, teams with lesser records. Obviously I think it'll be different Sunday with you guys. You guys aren't a bad, team. So, and
Right.
plus with it being a rivalry and interdivision, hopefully it's different. But for whatever reason, on offense, it almost like it's like they try to get too cute against these lesser teams, and they really try too hard to establish a run, which I love James Conner, but they have so many weapons at receiver. They get comfortable with that, and then if you want to establish a run, go ahead and do it. But for whatever reason, they're just very predictable on offense when they're not running the no huddle offense for whatever reason. So
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. I wasn't really watching too much of the game last week. I was just checking in scores here and there, but seeing you guys are down and then seeing you guys have made that comeback, I was just like, man, this is probably going to be a close one on Sunday. I mean, just going back and forth here a little bit. I mean, just I don't know. It could be a close one, could be a blowout, but like I'm saying, like just playing down the competition, I really think hurts you guys a little bit on that front. So
absolutely.
picking it here to the Bengals defense a little bit kind of goes along with what you were saying with the offense. I really think we got to get pressure on Big Ben. You talk about Carl Lawson, dude, absolute steal from the draft a couple of years ago, along with Jesse Bates, man. I mean, with Sam Hubbard coming back, with Geno Atkins probably in a bigger role, hopefully Mike Daniels and him and Carl Lawson, if we can get pressure on you guys and really eliminate the run game, I really do trust our secondary enough, just in the sense of having Bates, having Bell, having William Jackson back. I really think that we can limit your weapons a little bit on offense, because I really think our run defense has been really stout in the past couple weeks. I mean, Derrick Henry, I was at the Titans game. I didn't even think he had a 100-yard rushing, and he ends up having 112 yards. So, like, they're playing the run defense pretty well, but I think the big thing we have to worry about is getting pressure on Big Ben, because if you give that guy time to throw, if you give him all day to throw, he's going to find that open receiver come quick. Like, we're just going to have to pressure him and see what we can go from there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how we line up on defense this week. So picking it back up to you here on the Pittsburgh side of the defense, I'm going to tell you what, man, you guys scare me on defense. This is after seeing the Baltimore game and seeing Joe Burrow get hit a ton, almost like a humble game a little bit. Like he got humbled in that game, dude. Seeing your front seven, when you talk about maybe Vince Williams not being there, but like TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, Cam Hayward, you guys just got Avery Williamson from the Jets. Like that defensive front just scares the hell out of me, man. So for you guys on defense this week, what's the big focus for you guys in really getting stuff on Burrow this week?
I believe you got to keep Burrow in the pocket. I think he's one of the more talented players in this league right now, young talented players in this league. He's special, and you gotta keep him in the pocket, and you gotta make him uncomfortable any way you can. At the end of the day, he's still a rookie, so hopefully the Steelers can maybe confuse him a little bit, disguise some blitzes, and they're just gonna have to make him uncomfortable. Last week, I'm not gonna lie, the front seven started out pretty slow. You were hearing all week about how the Cowboys were on, their second and third string guys on the line,
Yep.
and for the first half, the Steelers front seven couldn't really get home. Luckily, in the fourth quarter, they were really able to turn it on. Cam Hayward had a big game. Watt was getting some pretty good pressure there at the end. But if they're not able to get any pressure on Burrow, I think he's going to light us up. Our secondary, for whatever reason, this year has been pretty susceptible to big play, and that's not – you can't let that happen on Sunday because, you guys are a very young, scary team. And I think if you guys get enough momentum, I don't know if it's going to be enough for us to get back in the game. So I think you're going to have to limit explosive plays, and you're going to have to keep Burrow in the pocket and make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. The big thing that I have in the Bengals offensive keys, number one is just protect Burrow. Like, just keep the guy's jersey clean. Listen, if we don't have a run game, that's fine. He's been doing fine in the passing game this year. But, like, if we don't protect Burrow, our offense isn't going to get on a roll. Our defense is going to be back out on the field just like it was in the Baltimore game. I thought the defense played great against Baltimore. But when they are on the field almost all the damn time and they don't get a break because the offense is stalling on 3 and outs, you really can't help your defense out there when they're only giving up 20 points, turnover here, all that. But we have to keep them protected, and we have to get a little bit on the roll. I think the big thing that we're going to try and focus on this week, at least what I think we should, is time-consuming drives. If you can keep Big Ben off the field and you can wear out the defense a little bit and just turn the clock a little bit, I think it's going to help us a lot. And another big thing, too, is so we're getting Joe Mixon back this week. He's been out for the last couple of weeks. I've really liked what I've seen with Giovanni Bernard in the passing and the run game. I think if you incorporate both those guys this week in a mixture of the offense, along with, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, A.J. Green, just the more weapons you give Burrow this week against Pittsburgh, and like you're talking about, being not really too cute, but, like, you have to get creative. Because, like, if you're just plain and simple, like, the Steelers are going to read that out. So I think just incorporating those guys and really protecting Burrow this week. So, but another big thing I want to talk about here with the Steelers defense, in my opinion, from just watching a couple games, I haven't watched all of them. I know you've probably watched many of them. To me, it almost seems like the defense is the backbone of this team. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree and say, no, the offense is kind of balanced, they help out the defense? Or is the defense really the outlier of this football team and why they're 8-0?
I would say you're probably right there. The defense, when it's mattered most, they've came up big. Last week, especially, they, last 3 weeks, really. Last week, Cowboys had 2 shots there at the end to get a score and take the lead and put the game away. And our defense came up big. And then week before that against Baltimore, came down the very last second. And I think the defense is making timely plays, and they're backing up the offense when, we haven't really been able to close out games on offense. And, I don't want to take anything away from the offense, but, I mean, they're making plays when they need to also, but they're also not, we're not kneeling to end games really right now. And we're keeping our defense out there for too many, last chances for the opposing team. So I think the defense definitely is the backbone of this team, and is probably the biggest reason that, they're 8-0 right now.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, and I can definitely see that. Just, the T.J. Watt, the Bud Dupree, Devin Bush, obviously tore his ACL, but when that guy's healthy, Minka, like, there's just a nasty defense that a lot of sports writers didn't have this team, like, winning 8 or 9 games. And I just seeing the defense work, man, I just can't believe that any sports writer, like, had that in their mind that they would go under 500, knowing Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season in 14 years. I think that's just kind of crazy to me.
No, for sure. I mean, it was funny to see, like you said, people in the offseason, saying this team's going to be worse than they were last year. And last year they had a practice squad quarterback. And it's like, I get it, there's uncertainty with Ben, but even a 50% Ben, I don't see how that can't be better than a practice squad quarterback. Don't want to take anything away from Duck Hodges, what he was able to do last year, but
right.
Ben's a Hall of Famer, and when you add a Hall of Famer to an offense, especially at the quarterback position, I mean, you're dangerous. So you hit that spot on. I couldn't really believe that in the offseason either, especially with the defense, like you said. So
yeah, just a year of proving a lot of people wrong, I guess. So all right, now second to last segment, excuse me. Prediction time here. So Tyler, what do you have as the score to this game, and why do you think so?
So assuming Big Ben's able to go, I think it's going to be probably 30-17 Steelers. I think this game's probably going to be close going into the fourth quarter, but I think, the Steelers defense is going to be able to get like maybe a turnover or something, a huge momentum swing in the fourth quarter to really put this game in their favor. But I will say, if Ben's not able to go, I'm going to feel a lot more shaky about this game, and I'd probably go maybe like a 3-point win for the Steelers, like 2017, maybe something like that. But I just think this defense is going to be able to make some plays against a young quarterback in Burrow. And, hopefully the offense is just able to do enough. I think you guys got a pretty talented defense. And, as long as, like I said, Carl Lawson and Jesse Bates aren't able to wreck this game, I think the Steelers are going to be looking good.
Yeah, I can definitely see that outcome for sure. I've got a little bit of a closer game and just overall in the sense of a high scoring game. I've got Steelers winning this one 35-27. So what I think with that is, number one, I really do, when we're talking about the Steelers played down their competition. This week, I wouldn't say they're playing down, but I think with the way the offense has been going and the way Joe Burrow's been throwing the football and just the creativity from Zach Tiller, I really think this is going to come down to being a shootout. It's going to be a Big Ben versus Burrow show. Now, don't get me wrong. Your defense is probably going to hit Burrow a couple times, force an interception here or there. Same with us, going to be back and forth. But I really think this is going to be a closer game than a lot of people think. I think right now the Steelers are 8.5-point favorites, I think. 8.5 or 8, one of those two. But 35-27. I think it's going to be a shootout. And I think you guys are going to come out on top of this one, sadly. I hate to say that, but we haven't beat you guys in 10 games. We're 0-10 in the last 10. So maybe that changes, possibly in a Monday night game, but I don't see it happening this week. So, but I think it'll be a good game overall. So, last segment here, bold prediction. So Tyler, give me the Steelers' bold predictions, one on offense and one on defense. What do you see as some bold predictions that could happen this game?
So for offense, I'm going to go ahead and say I think Ben throws for over 400 yards for the first time this year.
Holy cow.
He's been really in the 200, 250 range pretty much all year. He's had I think 300-yard games, but I think Steelers fans are waiting for him to finally have his Big Ben game where he just absolutely torches the defense from start to finish. And I think that'll probably be the thing, hopefully the thing on offense this week. And then defensively, I actually got something for both teams. I think both star safeties, Minkah Fitzpatrick and Jesse Bates, both get pick sixes for their team this week.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that. Seeing how those two guys have played this year, both of them being ball hawks, I really like that prediction right there. Now the Big Ben one, dude, if this secondary gets shredded for 400 yards, I don't even want to think about what my post pod's going to be. 400 yards from Big Ben, that's insane. Huh. But hey, it's why we call them bold predictions, man. That's why we call them bold. So for me here on the Bengals side, I'll start with the offense here. Another quarterback here going. Joe Burrow's going to throw for 350 yards. He's going to throw for 3 touchdowns, and he's going to have 0 interceptions. A little bit backing off of what you said, but I really think – I don't know if a defensive coordinator is going to figure him out yet. Obviously, you've seen the film. He's one of the best guys in the intermediate routes. But from what I've seen, dude, the way he reads defenses is just unbelievable. I mean, the one game, I think we were talking, Paul Danner Jr. just came out with an article from The Athletic. He asked the coaches, assistant coach, the head coach, offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, and an offensive assistant to pick their favorite plays from Joe Burrow in the first half. And they talked about this one play where they played Cleveland in week 7, and they ran like this slant crossing combo. And they checked to it because in week 2, that's the exact check they went to. He saw that the corners were talking that, hey, they ran this play in week 2. He counter-checked to a different play, and Tyler Boyd ended up getting 17 yards on a different pattern. Like, just the way he reads defenses and able to check into audibles, I think is really beneficial for a rookie quarterback. I just think it's what puts him over all these other rookies. So I've got 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions for Joe Burrow. On the defensive side of the ball, I've got James Conner going for under 75 rushing yards. I really believe that the run defense has been a big thing in these past couple games. I really think if we hold him to under 100 yards, we can get something going. So I've got under 75 rushing yards. And a little bit bold here, I've got defense/special teams. I've got the defense blocking a Chris Boswell field goal. Now, I'm almost positive if you guys go and look at stats, Chris Boswell, I don't think has ever missed against the Bengals. So many game-winning field goals, so many go-ahead field goals that dude just does not miss. For whatever reason, against the Bengals, he does not miss. So, but this week I've got Boswell getting a field goal block. So it could be a key factor in the game. You never know. But so that's what I've got for my bold predictions. So that's going to do it for us here on the National United Pod. Tyler, I want to thank you again so much for coming out today. I really enjoyed this talk, man. I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Tony, anytime. I'm definitely looking forward to the game. And, I just want to say I think you guys got something really special with Joe Burrow, man. I hope, you guys are able to protect him for years to come because I think he's going to be really special for you guys. And I really do think, what are we, 8 games in, 9 games in,
Yep.
I really do think you guys found your franchise guy. So hopefully you guys are able to protect him for years to come.
Yeah, man. I hope so too, man. Just gotta worry about keeping him healthy first. So that's gonna do it for us here. 4:25 on Sunday. Game got flexed from 1 o'clock to 4:25 on Sunday. Cincinnati travels to Pittsburgh, Heinz Field, kickoff on Fox. Make sure we tune in for that game. Check out for the post pod this week after the game. Probably a little Monday action, being late game and all that. So check out for that and tune in for more content this week. We'll see you guys soon. Who Day.